اخواتنا رجاء تفضلوا اقعدوا هنا، تفضلوا اللي قدام. اخواتنا رجاء تفضلوا اقعدوا هنا، تفضلوا هنا. خارن محترم خواهش می‌کنم بفرمایید جلو بشید. My sisters, please come on over. If you can bring those chairs that are extra, put it for the ladies if you want. صلى على محمد وآل محمد. It's not appropriate to recite the dua and there's so much noise in the back. این صلوات مجدد خواهش کنم نمرک بکنم. Yeah, if somebody please closes the other door, the ladies' door as well. So, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنتني في دعائك ومسألتك فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي وأقل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها وهموم قد كشفتها وعثرة قد أقلتها ورحمة قد نشرتها وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده الظاهر بالكرم مجده الباسط بالجود يداه الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما. إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجة بي إليه عظيما وغناك عنه قديم وهو عندي كثير وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي. أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجب منك، ما الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك، فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور، فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد لئيم منك علي اليوم، إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأنني أتطول عليك، ثم لم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك، فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح خالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق خالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله ولا شبيه يشاكله ولا ظهير يعاضده، قهر بعزة الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمة العظماء، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازيه، فكم من موهبة هدية قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفى بي، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني عليه حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائله ولا يخيب آمنه. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويضع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاصم الجبارين مقيل الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين. موضع حاجات الطالبين، معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم صل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي. حجتك على عبادك وأمرائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمن والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك واستخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شرفنا واشعب به صدعنا وارزق به فتقنا وكثر به قلتنا وأعزز به ذلتنا وأغن به عائلنا واقض به عن مغرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وصد به خلتنا ويسر به عسرنا وبيض به وجوهنا وفك به أسرنا وأنجح به طلبتنا وأنجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا وأعطنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشف به صدورنا واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا. وصل على محمد وآل محمد وعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجلوا وبضر تكشفوا ونصر تعزوا وسلطان حق تظهروا ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فادخلنا وفي عليين فارفعنا وبكأس من معين من عين سلسبيل فاسقنا ومن الحور العين برحمتك فزوجنا ومن الولدان المخلدين كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون فأخذنا ومن ثمار الجنة ولحوم الطير فأطعمنا ومن ثياب السندس والحرير والاستبرق فألبسنا وليلة القدر وحج بيتك الحرام وقتلا في سبيلك مع وليك فوفق لنا وصالح الدعاء والمسألة فاستجب لنا. وإذا جمعت الأولين والآخرين يوم القيامة فارحمنا وبراءة من النار فاكتب لنا وفي جهنم فلا تغلنا وفي عذابك وهوانك فلا تبتلنا ومن الزقوم والضريع فلا تطعمنا ومع الشياطين فلا تجعلنا وفي النار على وجوهنا فلا تكببنا ومن ثياب النار وسرابيل القطران فلا تلبسنا ومن كل سوء يا لا إله إلا أنت فنجنا آمين رب العالمين.
second. Just a second. To look in the microphone.
Is it on?
Yeah, I'm going to put it on for you and fix it for your height. Just go ahead and stand up. Stand up. Put it up a little bit for you, like this.
Yeah, that's good.
So, very chill.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Sayyid Muhammad Qazwini. And I was invited a few days before Ramadan to come speak a few words before my father's lecture. And at first I really wasn't sure of what I was going to speak about, and it was kind of a hard decision to make. I didn't want to do anything too related with religion or something related with the Quran, because that would be the speech you're about to hear about. I wanted to do something that would benefit the youth and maybe benefit people who are having children or are going to have children in the future. And then I got sent a video. That video was a lion waiting to pounce, but the lion wouldn't pounce. It kept waiting, but it wouldn't go. And there was cows running in front of the lion, and the lion would just watch them. It wouldn't pounce. Until another lion came from behind that lion, and it took the opportunity, it pounced on the cows. At that moment, I knew my talk was going to be about not allowing opportunities to pass you up while you just wait there, and also the idea of tawakkul. Now, I want to start off with not allowing opportunities to pass you up, because that's a major problem within the youth today. The youth today, they have a problem where every single one of us, we allow ourselves to be complacent. We're okay with sitting there and allowing things to come to us. We don't get up and we don't grab them for ourselves. Now, an example of that, I was told to bring a few examples to kind of explain the topic a little bit more. And one of the examples I was able to think of is, especially in the West today, a lot of the parents, they'll take their kids and they'll put them in Islamic classes, or they'll put them in Quran classes after school or over the summer. And the kids, they'll complain, they'll say, why did you put us in this? It's boring, we don't enjoy this, it's extra time that you're just wasting. But when they're not in these Quran classes, when they're not in these Islamic studies classes, they'll sit at home and they'll do nothing. They're not helping themselves be better in any way. They're just sitting at home and they're not doing anything. But then when they are doing something to better themselves, when they're doing the Quran, they're not understanding that it's better for them. They decide that, oh, we just want to sit at home and we want to have fun and enjoy ourselves, because they think, oh, this is boring and it's never going to help me. So why should I be into these classes, and why should I interact with these classes? And another example that came to my mind is, a lot of the students, what you hear is, oh, C's get degrees. That why do I need to get an A when I just need to get a C to pass the class? So if I put in less effort, I'm still going to pass the class, I'm still going to graduate, so why do I need to shoot for that A? So the generation is okay with being lazy, we're okay with sitting back and just not trying our hardest, knowing that we can get those better grades. We're smart enough to do these things and get those better grades, but we'd rather sit back and relax and enjoy more time of relaxation and less time of studying. Now, the second topic I wanted to brush upon in these few minutes was the idea of tawakkul. Now, what do I mean by tawakkul? Imam al-Rida alayhi salam describes tawakkul as putting your complete faith and trust in Allah and believing that He knows what is best for you. Now, the best way I can describe and give you an example of this story of tawakkul was with the story of the son of Nabi Nuh alayhi salam. Nabi Nuh alayhi salam. Nabi Nuh, his son, he had given him the option of coming onto the boat with him or going up the mountain. What did his son choose to do? His son decided to take the easy route. The easy route was going up the mountain. He knew what was going to happen. He knew he would sit on the mountain. He would stay with his family. He would stay with his community. And there was no risks in it. But if he went on the boat, there would be risk involved. He didn't know where the boat was going to go. He would be leaving everything he knew behind. So instead of trusting Allah, he thought he knew what was best, and he would go on the mountain, and he would take the better route. And that is what we do a lot of the times. A lot of the times we'll sit there and we'll pray to Allah. We'll say, oh Allah, give me this, give me this, give me this. And then when Allah does not give us those things, we say, oh Allah, why did you not give us these things? But what we do not understand is that what Allah did give us, He gave us something better, because He knows better than what we are going to do. He knows that we, for example, did not need to go to this certain school or have this certain thing because it might have even harmed us. Even though it's what we wanted, it's not always what is best for us. And the second part of tawakkul is, a lot of people believe that you just make dua, you ask for a certain thing and then you'll get it immediately. They don't understand that there's two parts to that. First, you make the dua, oh Allah, give me, for example, better grades in school. Oh Allah, allow me to pass this test. And then you have to do the work for it. If you don't do the work for it, then you're not getting those grades. Then if you just say, oh Allah, give me those grades, and then you sit at home all day and you don't do the work for those grades, you're not going to end up passing that class. You're not going to end up getting those grades. And then people, they start saying, oh Allah, why did you do this to me? Why didn't you give me these things? Because you didn't work for them and you didn't gain them. So you didn't deserve them in the end of the day. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
قلت لكم التغييرات صارت عدل تحجون انا عدل ان شاء الله. زين ان شاء الله. Inshallah. Well, I would like to welcome everybody for another night of our programs during the month of Ramadan. And I hope by now we all have gotten used to being hungry during the day and staying away from certain things we're not supposed to do. Inshallah, I hope that we have done this in the appropriate way where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with us. Hopefully not listening to things we're not supposed to, listening to this stuff that we're not supposed to, or hearing or talking about things that we're not supposed to. Alhamdulillah, inshallah this is going to get us by now when we finish the month of Ramadan all the way to next year, inshallah, when we get used to thinking about the poor, thinking about other brothers and sisters and so on and so forth. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have accepted all our deeds and prayers and supplications and invocations of this very holy month. A couple points. Our program is going to continue till the Eid. Of course, the Eid, as you heard from Samahat al-Sayyid, is going to be either Tuesday or Wednesday, but most likely Wednesday. Tomorrow our program is going to start again by the prayers and then iftar, and then we continue the program. And from day after tomorrow till Eid, our program is going to be starting at 9 p.m. Inshallah, we'll see you here at 9 p.m. until the Eid. And the Eid prayer is going to be at 7:30 in the morning because it's a working day and we try to not disturb our neighbors. Since I have you here tonight, one thing I wanted to mention also, as the Islamic responsibility and duty, we have to be good to our neighbors. And one of the things that could bother our neighbors, although most of the time we have most of our parking spots, they are taken, but it's okay with us. But we should not take their spots to, just exercise our faith, inshallah, in a better way. So we would invite all of you to park your cars either in the streets here or in the very back by the airport. There are a lot of parking spots for the 8th day. Inshallah, we'll see what we can do. Your help is very much needed for these days. The Samahat al-Sayyid said he is not going to talk to us until this is fixed. And one more thing about the speakers and the mics. In the last 3-4 days, I don't want to assume who did it, but I please beg you to not play with any of the mics. Every mic, is set up. I have to spend a few times. Now our time is going to be taken, and Samahat al-Sayyid's time is going to be taken, and we're going to waste some time. I don't want anybody to play with this mic. This mic is supposed to be here and untouched. We have 3 mics. If you want to use any of them, you want with echo, we have one with echo. This has to be without, see there's echo in it right now. I got to go fix it. Hopefully I can do it within a minute or two. But please do not play with any of the mics, nor the device inside that room. We don't have any right to go there actually, except me. That's it. I can go there and a couple people who turn off the lights outside and in. Please help us out. Because this is getting, to be honest with you, right into my nerves. Because I try to keep cool and so please recite the salawat for your help. until I fix this issue.
One of the things that we must learn again is that we have shoe racks here. And every time I come inside the mosque, I find on the men's side and the women's side, people leave their shoes on the floor. This is also not nice. Not nice at all, and not funny. Okay? We live in a civilized society. This is a civilized month. This is a civilized mosque and a civilized community. For those of you who left their shoes outside, next time you would not find them, believe me. I'm very serious. Next time, if we find shoes not on the shelves, on the shoe rack, you are not going to find them. You go back home, hafi, qabirahna inshallah. So let's respect the community, respect the masjid. Those women who don't want to pray during Salat al-Jama'ah and they sit at the back and they speak, they are also a problem. We are not forcing people to pray. Who prays, who doesn't. This is not our business. This is your decision. But if you choose not to pray for some reasons, then you don't have to speak. You have to respect the right of others who come here to worship. And you all know that during the prayers we have to focus. If you don't focus, then your prayers is mechanical prayers, not a spiritual, mechanical. Today I could not focus. Today, in both the prayers, I could not focus. So I ask you, when you go back home, repeat your Maghrib and Isha prayers. So please, we ask you, all women who come here, and men, and children, to observe silence during the prayers so we can focus on our prayers. Or if you want, if you can, some people cannot stop talking. Then they can stand outside until we finish the prayers. They can come in, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. Another character, another leader among the great women of mankind tonight is one of the wives of Al-Imam Abu Abdullah Al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. And that lady's name is Al-Rabab. Al-Rabab bintu Imra al-Qais al-Kilabi. She comes from a very prominent and reputable families in Islam, but they were not Muslims in the beginning. The background of the family was a Christian, and her father was a Christian, but they were very honorable people, an honorable family. And they used to be mediators between the tribes, between the people, between the families, between those who fight. They took them as mediators. They bring people together. They make peace among people because people trusted them, trusted their honesty, their integrity, their wisdom, their farsightedness. So they used to play the role of mediators in Arabia. And then her father, Imra al-Qais, ibn Adi accepted Islam during the time of the second caliph, Umar ibn al-Khattab. He accepted Islam, he converted to Islam, and he fell in love with the family of the Prophet, Alu Rasulullah alayhim as-salatu was-salam. When he got to know the family of the Prophet and he met Imam Ali alayhi salam in Medina, he fell in love with him, and then he decided himself to give, he had two daughters, to give the first one by the name of Al-Muhayya to Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, and the second daughter to his son Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu was-salam. So the name of the first sister was Al-Muhayya, and the second sister was Al-Rabab, and Al-Muhayya married Imam Ali alayhi salam. Al-Rabab married Imam Hussein. And Rabab was very intelligent, very bright. She was not only physically beautiful, but she was morally and ethically beautiful too, in her manners, in her akhlaq, and also in her eloquence, in her balagha. She was a speaker and she was a poet at the same time, sha'ira, adiba. And she fell in love with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. وهي شاعرة, both. And we will listen to parts of her, some of her poetry that she did in regards to the incident of Karbala. So she loved Imam Hussein, and Imam Hussein alayhi salam loved her because of her manners. I said a few nights ago that sometimes people fall in love with each other because of each other's money, sometimes because of each other's wealth and a property. Someone said to me today, she is contemplating on getting divorced after only 4 months of marriage. Why? Because he deceived me. My husband deceived me. He married me because I am rich. He married me because not because he loves me, but he loves my money. And as soon as he married me, he asked me to buy him a Beamer, BMW. He's asking his wife to buy His Majesty a BMW. Obviously, this is not marriage. This is a business deal. I said to this honorable lady that both of you are guilty. He is guilty because he has ill intention, and you are guilty because you are naive. You are naive. How can you marry someone before you make sure that he really respects you, he honors you, he values you, he sacrifices his life for you? How can you marry him? How can you marry someone that you don't know? You are guilty too. So sometimes people marry each other for material considerations, for material profit. But sometimes they marry each other for moral profit. They make a profit, not money, not a piece of land, not a house, not a BMW. They marry because they need to learn from the other side. They need to be inspired by the other side. That is the right marriage. When they marry to uphold good values because they are compatible. The good, God says in the Quran, الطيبات للطيبين. The good people are, the good men are for the good women. You cannot put a good man with a wicked woman. Neither you can put an evil man with a pure woman. You can't. They don't get along. They don't stick to each other. They don't live with each other. They will be separated. But when both of them, their intentions are pure and good, they don't take advantage of each other. They look at marriage as an institution of building each other, not destroying each other, not taking advantage of each other, not manipulating each other. Then they will succeed. And this is the type of marriage that existed between Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his wife Al-Rabab bintu Imra al-Qais. She loved him because he had good qualities, good manners. And Imam Hussein also loved her because she was worthy of his love. This is why he says, Imam Hussein, about Rabab, لَعَمْرُكَ إِنَّنِي لَأُحِبُّ دَارًا تَحِلُّ بِهَا سَكِينَةُ, not سُكَيْنَةُ. In Arabic, the right pronunciation is sakina, from tranquility, not sukaina. Many people say sukaina, it's not right. Sakina, tranquility and peace. لَعَمْرُكَ إِنَّنِي لَأُحِبُّ دَارًا, I love a house, a family, تَحِلُّ بِهَا سَكِينَةُ وَالرَّبَابُ, a house that hosts the mother, which is Rabab, and her daughter, which is Sukaina, because Imam Hussein had two children from her. One of them is Sakina, and the other is Abdullah, who was murdered in Karbala at the age of 6 months only. 6 months. Abdullah was born in Medina, and immediately, few days after that, after his birth, the birth of this baby, Imam Hussein left Medina to Mecca, and then Mecca to Karbala. So on the day of Ashura, Abdullah was an infant, a baby, 6 months old. So Imam Hussein was fond of her because of her manners. This is the real beauty, my friends. The real beauty is inside, in the heart, in the soul. You get attached to those people who have this inner beauty. Physical beauty is good, is nice, but it is fluctuating. It would not stay there. Physical beauty, if it is not accompanied by inner and moral beauty, it will be rendered zero and useless. Not just useless, but a curse, not a blessing, a curse on the family and on the person himself or herself. Inner beauty. Think of inner beauty. Think of marrying someone that you find with her or with him peace, real peace. You find with him or with her respect. A person that encourages you, a person that empowers you, a person that makes your day every single day. You live with that person and you are happy. You did not make the wrong choice. Don't be naive when you get married. Don't be naive. Take your time, even if it takes 3 years, to study that person before you say yes or no. So she lived with Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Medina, and then when Imam Hussein moved with his father, Amir al-Mu'mineen, to Kufa, she also moved with him to Kufa. And they lived in one place. Imam Ali took his entire family from Medina to Kufa. All his children, all his sons, all his daughters, with their spouses, with their children. They all moved for almost, as you heard me saying this many times, 4 years and 9 months. They went to Iraq, to Kufa. And then after the martyrdom of Imam Ali, again the entire family came back to Kufa. They did not stay in Iraq. In Medina, sorry. They came back to Medina again. Imam Hussein, when he took his family, it was not his sole decision. Sometimes a father moves his family from one city into another without consulting his wife, without consulting his children. He says, I love to go to this city, so you have to follow me. You are tabi', you are followers. You have no right, no choice to say no. But Imam Hussein was not that type. Imam Hussein consulted his family. And they agreed with him because they understood that this man is a leader and he has a mission. His mission is not economic mission. His mission is not to make money. His mission is to make a humanity, is to make goodness, is to make change and a transformation in the society. So they all agreed to move with him because they knew that they cannot leave this man alone. The man needs his family, the support of his family, the support of his children. Imam Hussein could have told his wife Al-Rabab that you just went into labor, you have a newborn baby, you are feeding the baby, you have to rest in Medina, don't come with me, stay with your baby. The baby is only a few days old. But she wanted to join her husband because she knew that even this little baby Abdullah, who's going to be murdered, has a message, and he's going to have an impact on the psyche and the conscience of the Muslim Ummah. So they all wholeheartedly supported him, and they agreed to go with him to Karbala, to stand with him, to be an integral part to his revolution, to his transformation. And this is why Imam Hussein succeeded. If Imam Hussein had been going only by himself, just man, maybe his mission wouldn't have been completed. But Imam Hussein took his family because his family was instrumental in getting his voice to people of Iraq, to people of Syria, and also to the people of Hijaz and Medina. This is why he took his sisters, his daughters, his kids, the little ones, little girls. He took them to the war zone. Some people asked, why should Imam Hussein? And some people, even in Medina, they said to him, Ya Aba Abdullah, ma ma'na hamlika ha'ula an-niswa wal-atfal. You are going to a war zone. Have you seen someone taking his kids, his children, his women to war zone? He said, Sha Allah. أن يراهن سبايا. This is the will of God, that this family has to give. They have to give too. They have to struggle. They have to be taken captives, because it is only through their captivity and their voice and their struggle and their patience they're going to get the voice of Islam to the masses. And this is exactly what Lady Zainab did. When Lady Kulthum did in Kufa, in Damascus, in Medina, elsewhere. It was through them who got the voice of Imam Hussein and the message of Imam Hussein over to the masses. Al-Rabab was one of them. Though she belongs to a very rich family, honorable family, all her family are in Medina. But she decided, I have to join my husband. I'm not going to leave him. How can I leave my husband during the most difficult times of his life? I stay in Medina. I'm not going to enjoy my staying in Medina. Why Al-Rabab is important? Do you know why? I chose Al-Rabab, though there are other wives, but because she was so loyal to Imam Hussein, very loyal, to the extent that she could not live more than 1 year after Imam Hussein, and she died out of sadness and sorrow for Imam Hussein. When Imam Hussein was murdered, she came to his grave. She sat there without shade. They would tell her, at least have a shade, sit under a shade. She said, La. Ba'da Abi Abdullah, after the martyrdom of my leader, my master, I would not sit. I made a vow that I would not sit under a shade. I will sit under the sun. How can I sit under a shade when I saw with my own eyes the decapitated body of Imam Hussein laying on the floors of Karbala? I cannot do that. She was very loyal. So she moved with him to Kufa, back to Medina, and then back to Iraq in the caravan. And then she saw something that no mother, no human being can tolerate. On the eve of Ashura, on the day of Ashura, Imam Hussein comes to the enemy and he asks them, Ya qawm, in kana li dhanbun, fama dhanbu hadha al-radib. If I am guilty, if you look at me as being someone guilty, okay, and you are after me, then what is the guilt of this baby boy? أَلَا تَرَوْنَهُ كَيْفَ يَتَلَظَّى عَطَشًا. He's suffering from thirst. Give him some water. and there was a debate between the army. Some people say yes, some people say no. While they were debating, Harmala ibn Kahil, he said, I saw it's a good time to put an end. اقطع نزاع القوم. Umar ibn Sa'd, the commander of the army, said, Ya Harmala, اقطع. Finish this debate. Kill the baby. And he sends his arrow to the neck, the small neck of the baby. And he says, Harmala says, the only time I cried in Karbala, I sent an arrow to the heart of Imam Hussein, I didn't cry. To the eyes of Abu al-Fadl Abbas, I did not cry. But when I sent my arrow to this baby, the baby was fluttering like a bird. Ala yaday abi, on the hands of his father Hussein. I felt very sorry after sending this arrow and murdering the baby. Rabab saw this scene right before her eyes. And she's a mother of a baby who's only 6 months old. She's very attached to the baby, and the baby is attached to his mother. But she knew that she has a bigger message. She has to sacrifice for the bigger advantage, for the bigger result, for the bigger objectives and goals of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and that is the preservation of Islam. And then the family was taken captives from Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Damascus, from Damascus to Medina. And Rabab alayhi salam was part of that caravan. But then she said poetry throughout the route from Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Damascus. Wa Husaynan fala nasitu Husayna. I would not forget Imam Hussein. I would never forget him. Wa Husaynan fala nasitu Husaynan. أقصدته أسنة الأعداء غادروه بكربلاء صريعا لا سقى الله جانبي كربلاء. She was even reluctant to drink water after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein. Even reluctant to drink water. Whenever she drinks water, they force her to drink so she can survive. She would cry. She mixes her tears with that water that she drinks. And then she moves to Damascus, and you know they suffered a lot in this journey. They were physically abused by the army of Bani Umayyah. All the women, the children of Imam Hussein, were physically tortured and abused, verbally abused throughout this journey. When they arrived in Damascus, Yazid ibn Muawiyah, he thought that he's going to score his biggest victory against Ahlul Bayt, against Imam Hussein. And since they are captives in his courtyard, he's going to reprimand them, he's going to curse them, and the community, Muslims, are going to stand with him. But subhanallah, God has a beautiful verse in the Quran. وَلَا يَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ لِأَنفُسِهِمْ إِنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ لِيَزْدَادُوا إِثْمًا وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Those tyrants, those dictators, those murderers, wrongdoers, ظَلَمُوا, they should not think that these small victories, it's a blessing for them, it's a success for them. It's not a success, it's a curse. We allow them to score these small victories, but then when we punish them, we're going to punish them with no mercy. We're going to punish them severely. In that courtyard, a man stands. Of course, Al-Rabab alayhi salam, she saw the head of her husband, Imam Hussein, being beaten by Yazid ibn Muawiyah, being insulted by Yazid ibn Muawiyah. And so they stood. Lady Zainab, Lady Kulthum, all the women, they spoke out. And then people realized, some people who were naive until that day, they didn't know what happened in Karbala. They thought that still Yazid is the legitimate leader. When they saw one of the companions of the Prophet telling Yazid, "Irfa' sawtaka an hadha al-ra's." Don't hit Imam Hussein, don't abuse him. فَلَطَالَمَا رَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ. How oftentimes I saw the Prophet with my eyes kissing the head of Imam Hussein, kissing his eyes. Don't do that. When this man, who is a companion of the Prophet, said this, people realized that this is the head of Imam Hussein. This is the grandson of the Prophet. Those are the family, the women of the Prophet. So they stood one after the other. They said, سَوَّدَ اللَّهُ وَجْهَكَ يَا Yazid. May God darken your face, O tyrant Yazid. This is what you are doing with the noblest family, with the best family on earth, with the family of our Prophet. This is how you treat them? So they shook the foundations of Bani Umayyah. Until that day, people did not know what happened. Even today, if you ask 80% of the Muslims who are going to stay tonight until Fajr to worship God, Laylatul Qadr, if you ask 80% of them tonight, the Muslims, who murdered Imam Hussein, they don't know. And they do not want to know. They don't want to know this answer, because this is a bitter answer. This is an embarrassing answer to them. An embarrassing answer. And they don't want to apologize to the Prophet, even after 1400 years. This is why Muslims are not moving forward. Muslims are not victorious. Their enemies are victorious. Because Muslims are reluctant to face the truth, are reluctant to face justice. How can God bring them justice when they refuse justice? They refuse justice to the family of the Prophet. You think God will bring them justice and peace and victory? God would not do that. God would not bring victory to a sinner community. When the community keeps sinning and they hide from the truth, they sweep it under the carpet, they don't want to confess, they don't even want to be reminded. It's funny. You know what is funny? The similarity between the Muslims and the Jews. When it comes to the Jewish people, the moment you say Israel is abusing the Palestinians or this or that, they get irritated. Immediately they dubbed you as what? As being what? Anti-Semitic. Same thing with the Muslims. As soon as you tell them the family of the Prophet was murdered by Yazid, by Muawiyah, by this and by that, they get offended. They say you are anti-Sahaba. You are anti the community of the Prophet. Have you seen this comparison between them? You are anti-Sahaba. You are not anti-Sahaba. We are anti-corruption. We are anti-dictators. We have to speak the truth. God says, Alam naj'al lahu aynayn wa lisanan wa shafatayn. We have given you the brain, the tongue, the mouth, so you speak the truth. You are not silent, you are not coward. You have to speak the truth. One thing we learn in Islam, that we must search for the truth, and once we find it, we should not shy away from it. We should not hide it. We should speak about it. As long as we are not ready to speak about the truth, victory is not going to arrive. The Prophet said to his army, فَلَمَّا رَأَى اللَّهُ تَعَالَى مِنْكُمُ الصِّدْقِ أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمُ النَّصْرِ. When you were truthful, honest, God brought you victory. But as long as you don't speak the truth, you are dishonest, God is not going to bring victory. So the caravan was released because Yazid had no choice but to send the family of the Prophet back to Medina. Otherwise, he wanted to kill them and bury them there. But because of the pressure of the people, the populace, against Yazid and his regime, he decided to release the family of the Prophet from captivity, and he sent them back to Medina. So that when they left Medina, the journey took about 15 days to get from Medina to Karbala. About 15 days. From Damascus to Karbala. From Damascus to Karbala. Before they reached Medina. 15 days from Damascus to Karbala. So they stayed for 3 days in Karbala. Women, including Al-Rabab, she wanted to stay longer next to her husband, and guess who else? Her baby boy. Both are buried there. Imam Hussein himself and his baby boy, Abdullah. She said, I have nothing to do in Medina. I have no relatives. Those are my relatives. My husband and my baby are buried here. So I stay next to their grave. But they pressured her to come back to Medina. When they reached Medina, the caravan of Imam Hussein, the Umayyad governor of Medina by the name of Sa'id ibn al-As had ordered, after the tragedy of Ashura, he had ordered all the homes of Imam Hussein to be demolished. No more homes. The same policy that the Israelis are doing against the Palestinians today. Exactly. Good alliance between the two. So the family of Imam Hussein came back to Medina. They have no properties, no more homes. Al-Rabab has nowhere to stay. So many people came from the Ashraf of Medina, the notable people in Medina, the honorable men in Medina. They asked for her hand to marry her. Now that your husband is dead, we are ready to shelter you, to give you, a home, a place to stay. She said, she refused. She said, it is impossible. It is impossible for me to accept a father-in-law after Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. لا يكون لي حموا بعد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. I was married to Imam Hussein. Now I come back and marry this person and that, it's impossible. So she decided that I will go back to Karbala. She stayed only a few days in Medina. Then by herself, she left Medina going back to Karbala, and she stayed next to the grave of Imam Hussein in the land of Karbala. Lamenting Imam Hussein, weeping for him, reminding people, those visitors who come, of the tragedy of Karbala. For 1 year, until she got very sick, severely sick. Her family, her tribe came. She said to her, you're going to perish here, you're going to die. You are not eating, you are not drinking, you are not taking care of yourself. You are sitting in the sun. She got severely sick, so therefore they had to force her again to leave Karbala after 1 year and come back to Medina. As a result of her sickness, she died in the year 62. Karbala happened 61. The death of Lady Al-Rabab bint Imra al-Qais took place only 1 year after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein in the city of Medina, and she was buried in the cemetery of Al-Baqi'. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم تقبل دعاءنا وصلاتنا في ليلة القدر. Tonight also is one of the nights of Qadr, the 27th, the eve of the 27th. So spend some time doing your prayers and your du'as when you go home, inshallah. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا، واجعلنا اللهم من أنصاره وأعوانه، وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والشهداء ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.